Gaza, we see them intensify the killing and also the movement of the people them in the Gaza Strip there, where them decide say them want to take over the whole thing, displace the people them, and maybe make Trump come in and come make it into a resort. That is film intention. And Netanyahu facilitate this madness. So tell me, what is happening? Because you say there's a big demonstration going to take place. Tell me what is happening. Listen to a tune, brand new, by Shireen. I know if Shireen did a Sly, I feel it too. So why you love Sly, you know? Long time ago, you're from Sly. So we will continue. We have enough things to deal with, and we will continue the journey. And if you know... And yourself and your sister and brethren around you, very important that you do that, especially at this time. Yeah. So we see the farming thing take center stage in this, what them call it now, election fever. Yeah. So the Prime Minister, we just hear tell you talk about 2 tractors where them are give one for St. Elizabeth and one for Manchester. A long time, the man them a ball out, so they want a tractor down there, you know. But the man that tell you say, no, do before the time. I don't know what is the time. But it's very important. And when I side with no government, because we did talk about this thing long before we hear in the government, man, I ball out about it. And them on the campaign now, for really excite the people them about the things that them think concern them. And we know say farming is something where need the input of the government. Need it. And not only farming, but farming where them not put poison in the food them and slow poison the people them. So meanwhile, them a push farming. They must push how you farm. But you don't have unnecessary things in the food that you import from America, whatsoever you imported from. So we are telling the government that because we're very concerned about that. That's not one of the things that we talk about. Most of the time, farming. Watch a man. A long time we are talking about farming, you know. That's Wooly Patchoon make about farming. Wooly. And most Rasta when me know have something plant, if it's not for an acre land, 2 acre land or a square, but run in backyard. If it's even a banana tree, a grow, planting tree, or some vegetable. So we take it serious from a long time. But we'll repeat it, you know, there's so much open land. And when we say open land, we mean open land that in Jamaica. We can't understand why so much open land there in Jamaica. And nothing on there on it, not even cow. Not even cow. You know, people are looking for protein in them food, that's why they have cow. You know how much 1 acre of peas can kill, how much protein that is. And it's not the protein where it causes you to really get erratic. And after you don't do that, you need to go to the hospital. 1 cow, a piece, me should have really said. All right, we could come again. 1 cow give you a whole heap of protein. But as we know, where them feed the cow them with today, it's not necessarily where good for the cow, and then when you kill the cow, it's good for you. So me now advise people for rear cow and don't have somewhere where them can grass out. Yeah, them need for grass out. And me have some problem with some cow where people are grass out one of the back of my place. Whether at night or morning or evening, I hear mood on the place. And a little more you hear them I run up and down and look for the cow. And when you hear first the cow, they on my gate, they on my door and knock. Like him want to come in my room. I don't care what you tell them, you know. Them not do it, them I left the cow, them up on top of the hill there. Left the cow. But me know say, if you plant a acre of peas, the same amount of land where you put one cow pan. If you plant a acre, if you can't the same land and plant peas, any kind of peas, and do it properly, trust me, furthermore, you don't have to kill the flesh, you don't have to destroy the flesh. And furthermore, the peas where you get, you can use back the same amount of peas where you plant the first time and get back twice the amount of peas where you necessary want. And that also go for banana too. Banana is a thing where walk. Yes, you plant one banana tree and in a year, you see a whole heap of little baby around the banana tree. And when you chop the one banana tree and you get the little baby them, I call them, and you dig them out and plant them again. So if you have 5 sucker, we call it. If you have 5 sucker around the one banana tree, and you take out 5 of them, and you start to plant them, the next year you might have 5 multiplied by 5, 25 sucker. And you take them sucker there and plant them 25 sucker there. You can get maybe another 5. That's 120 odd banana tree. And your land gonna carry all it. So it's a good thing. When you kill a cow, the cow dead and that's it. When you kill a cow, that's the end of the cow. When you chop a banana tree, the little ones them come up and give more banana. Same thing with planting, and same thing with most vegetable. So, we know what we are saying when we talk about planting and how to plant and what to plant. We need that vigor and vitality. It's like a ackee tree. Look here, you pick ackee off of your tree, the next year you go bear again. And sometimes it bear twice a year too. And you know, kill the ackee tree. You just get ackee off of it. Most of the ackee waste are sell on the road. The man them want to sell it, never buy no ackee. I walk with some long stick with a little bag at the head of the stick and pick people ackee where hang out the road. Sometimes them knock the gate and ask if them can come pick the ackee and show you what ackee. Say, yeah man, come pick some, but make sure you left some for me. As they saw it there, take a break and come forward. About the farming thing, and as we are saying, the government, I don't know if it's a election ply, them I put the people them in there, but it's a good ply. It's a good ply because it's something where we have talked about for years on this program, and we see a whole heap of youth get involved with it. I mean, them come back to me and tell me what them are do. So we feel good for no, so whenever I said the thing and it was a fall upon deaf ears. You know, say, and now we say the government are coming now, everywhere the Prime Minister they know. You know, so the Prime Minister they all over the place. Yeah, man, the Prime Minister they all over the place, man. Believe you me. And I say them have different argument towards this planting thing, but as usual, them not tell the people them the real thing what them for do. Because in order to plant so much food, you need somewhere to store the food. You know, see, you need an agro-industry. So you can't tell a man to plant how much this, how much that, and him not have no way to sell it, that it can turn over into an agro-industry. Because agro-industry is one of the ways to preserve where you plant. And them not have no place in Jamaica where the farmer them can go and store them food, like you have locker where you can put your things them in a locker, and you got a foreign, or you have post office where you just rent a little thing in a post office and you put it, you let them come inside it. So one time they have a place on a Spanish Town Road and farmers used to go down there. But right now, the way the farming thing are going now, only for them youth were supposed to call themselves educated. Them don't like the farming, not, you know, them run them computer and social media influencers, them call a whole heap of them. Tell you the honest truth is, every time I see a youth a turn Rasta, a farm anymore I go do. But there's no incentive for him to move it forward. It just subsistence farming him do. Which is a good thing, because we see a whole heap of vegetarian place open up around the place now, and we also see a whole heap of man claim say him a herbal doctor. And him a make herbs this and herbs that and roots this and roots that. And everybody start to read book now with this good for, that good for. They have an apps on the phone where if you don't know the name of the plant, you just take a picture of the plant and it come up and show you the name of the plant and also where the plant them good for. Yes, for those of you who don't know it, you might just go in on Google and look on the right hand side of your phone. Like a camera there, just hold the camera, the phone, in front of the bush where you don't know where it name. And you take a picture of it. And it come up and tell you where it name. And the history where you want to know about something. Yeah, man. Try it, man. Try it. It's a serious thing. So we don't know now. We can't know whether bush the good for, whether herb the good for, and all these things. And now only for you to use it too. Only for you to make herbal remedies and herbal this, and some people turn PhD doctor. Just so, them turn doctor. But as I say, you have to watch what you do, because you're going to give people things where it have a side effect on it where you don't even know about. So it's not just a make bush and a mix up bush. And I tell people that bush is good for this and that bush is good for that. You have to know scientifically, may I emphasize that. You can't talk about say your granny used to mix up this. Your granny used to mix up this at a different time now. Granny used to mix up this and give you cool bush and all them something there. And you say, if you say you're going to mix up this and put in a back and sell it. Your granny never used to sell it. I used to follow my granny go to market, and the people them who sell the herbs, them they are one place in a Carnation market. And then just have the herbs them in there like fever grass, this and that, jack in the bush, this and that. And them no make it, them no buckle it. Them sell it as it is, wrap it up, and sell it as it is. Nowadays, man, I take bush and a bush and a bush up the place. And say, I'm a doctor. And I'm not a doctor. That cause a problem too. How come them not regulate them something? Them think they for regulate, you know. Them think they for regulate. You can't have a man that just a draw up bush and a boil up this. And then I come and tell you, say, no man, we have this and that. All right, take this, take that. And then take a draw of money and fire. I mean, I fight against a man we have to do things, you know, but there's a wrong and a right way to go about it. I mean, I got defend a man through me see myself bush. I mean, I say, well, I know hospital business that a bush. No. You're supposed to know exactly where you do. And as I say, scientifically. No long time, whole time way, scientifically. Because the ground them not stay same way now. And the atmosphere not stay same way now. So make sure when you boil up, it's not boil up that you know exactly what you do, you know. Because sometimes a man will go man belly hurt him and him come back to you and say, let me not tell you, say, you know, to do this that way there. And I hear things that cause it. So all them things that we have to check out. Yeah, we have to check out them things there. This is the Steppin Razor. The art
it's time to take a stand.
But break time. Them not tell you someone want to talk to
yes. Them tell me now, me there wait for you. Me there wait for you.
You never wait for me, man.
Yeah.
You wait for me. You couldn't let this wait for me. I know them kind of talk. Them want to talk to you on the radio.
Oh, then, okay.
I don't know private
all right.
talk. And something pertaining to where you into. You're into them things there.
Yeah,
you're rather, man. That no want to. Anyway, go on, do your thing. Do your thing.
All right, thank you so much, Muta. We're coming to you live from the Newell High School in St. Elizabeth, the Breadbasket Parish of Jamaica. No apologies when I said that. And of course, I'm here with the best Minister of Agriculture, and no apology when I said that. The Honorable Floyd Green is here with us. We're talking about RADA Connect. We're launching this app where the farmers can get all the technical services of RADA at a fingertip. And of course, bringing agriculture closer to you, our farmers. Now, Minister, earlier on, you spoke about RADA Connect and described as a national outreach initiative aimed at bringing agriculture support closer to our people. Why this model is necessary?
Yeah, so firstly, we're very, very happy to have RFM, the People's Station, here with us and spreading the message. We think it's very important that RADA, which is our chief extension agency, get out into the field in an organized and strategic way. Clearly, our RADA teams are out in the field every day, but we do appreciate that there are still farmers who are not reached, there are still farmers who are unregistered, and we want to bring technology to the farmers so we can make our farmers more efficient and more productive. So the best way to do it is through a RADA Connect series. So what we're going to do is do a series of on-the-road shows where we go into the communities that have high amount of farmers. We bring in our technical services. So RADA Plant Division is here. The Livestock Division is here. We bring in our partners. So St. Jacob Hardware is here, or H&L Agro, Caribbean Chemicals, all of them are here. So all of us are offering services to the farmers in one spot. Farmers can come in, farmers can sign up, but importantly, a lot of farmers don't know that we've infused the technology into extension services. Yeah. So tell you now, we have a RADA mobile app.
Excellent.
A lot of our farmers are already on smartphones. Them on the Facebook, them on TikTok, them on WhatsApp. What we're saying to them now is use that smartphone to bring the extension services to your fingertip by downloading the RADA mobile app. So we bring it to the farmers now to help them. So we will take the phones, we will help the farmers to download the app. We will walk them through the process because the app, anybody can download the app. So if you're listening, you can go into the Google Play Store or your App Store, type in RADA, and you will see the RADA mobile app and download it. But our farmers, when they use it, they have special services.
Wow. All right. So this app, of course, I heard mentioned earlier on that from the RADA CEO that there is a deficit in terms of the ratio of how many extension officers to our farmers. And this app now will bring all the necessary information and services to our farmers. Earlier on, we spoke about accessibility because we know our farmers, ministers rural. And sometimes connectivity might be an issue. Do you have any idea how we're going to navigate through that?
So we have a couple of plans. And yes, as you said, this is really about trying to bring extension services to the farmers. Right now, our ratio of extension services to farmers is 1 to the 1,000. So it's very difficult for each extension officer to get to that farmer. So while we continue to increase the complement of extension officers, we also want our farmers to, one, when you download the app, you can book a visit for your extension officer. So you can schedule the time, the place that will make our extension officers much more efficient. You can also go through our guides. We have videos online through the app where you can see how to plant cucumber, how to plant tomato. Additionally, if you have a problem, you can take a picture of that problem, you can upload it to the app, and somebody can give you real-time services. But one of the things that we're doing with connectivity is that we're partnering actually with the Universal Services Fund, and we're going to be targeting high concentration of farmers areas. So let us take a community like Flagaman that has 400 registered farmers in a small vicinity. We're going to be working with the USF to put in free public Wi-Fi in those areas so that they don't have a challenge when they utilize the app. They can use the free Wi-Fi, they can go online. And part of the government's drive, as you know, is to set up these free public Wi-Fis. And we've done about 250 of them in my own constituency. I think we have about 8 of them. So that ties into this that we're doing now. So you download the app, you have the free Wi-Fi, and you can use it free of cost.
Okay, Minister, let's talk about food security and resilience. Food security is the heart of this initiative. How does RADA Connect directly contribute to building more resilient farming communities, especially in the face of climate change and natural disaster? Talk to us about that.
I think the first thing, you have to know your farmers. You have to connect with the farmers in a real way. So you have to know them, they have to know you, they have to be able to engage you. And when you do that, then you're able to pass on the best practices, help them form groups, ramp up production, because this is all about ramping up production so that we produce more. When they download the app, we'll be better able to look at what they're producing, when they're producing. We will have a dashboard where we can say, well, when we look at St. Elizabeth, we see how much tomato is here, and we can better advise the farmers as to what to go into, what not to go into. All of that is about driving productivity. Outside of that, this is just one of the initiatives. I mean, we are expanding irrigation services, especially here in St. Elizabeth through Essex Valley, but also PJ Place irrigation system that we're breaking ground for this year that will bring about 4,000 hectares of land under irrigation cover. Big project taking water from the Black River, irrigating the plains. But outside of that, today you would have seen we've done something very practical. We know our farmers need more help with land preparation. We know that they need to be more efficient. So we would have handed over 2 new tractors today to our RADA teams. We go to Manchester and St. Elizabeth so that they can help the farmers by subsidized rates, land preparation, make them more efficient, drive up production. All of this is about production, it's about food security.
And I heard earlier on from your speech that 4 more will be coming.
4 more on the way. I don't. Maybe I shouldn't have said it. Every parish is going to start reach out and say, Minister, remember me, Minister, remember me. But what we want to do is to ensure that every parish has a base amount of tractors. We think that's very, very important. Outside of that, we're going to partner with the private sector. We have to have a public-private partnership model because a lot of land to be done, a lot of farmers need this sort of preparation. We know the challenges with labor. We have to mechanize, and we're coming up with models for that mechanization.
Excellent. Any closing remarks, Minister?
I just want to comment in the RADA team. Firstly, for doing this RADA Connect, this is the first one. We're going to go on the road. So we'll be coming to a community near you very soon. So come in, CEO Edmondson and the entire management team of RADA want to come in, all the support. I know NIC is here. 4H is always here with Teddy.
Yes.
Right? So I want to come in, all it is. I want to thank the farmers for coming out. Last year was a tough year. Very difficult year for farmers. But farmers continue to show that they're the most resilient people that Jamaica has. So I want to thank them for coming out. Outside of that, pay attention. We are transforming agriculture. Things that we've spoken about for decades are getting done now. This is not thought, this is action.
Right, Minister. And as I said, you are one of the best agricultural ministers. And I said that because every single week I monitor the social space and the media, and you are making some big impact, changing the landscape of agriculture in this country.
We call it the new face of food.
The new face of food.
Absolutely.
All right, so there you have it from
big up Mutabaruka.
Yeah, Mutabaruka. Muta, you must have a question for the minister.
Yeah, but you know, more ask, but it's just that the news are come up. So I don't know if you want to talk back again. You talk to him again, Teddy.
If he's here until 3 o'clock, then we'll
so you're
have
going
that
to connect link. Then you're going to connect link.
Yes, man, at 3 p.m.
Yeah, because a farm in that talk about a while ago, you know, half the year, that farm not talk about that. Me not hear certain things addressed, so more address it and see what I'm going to say about it. All right, so we could go to the news.
No problem.
And when you link again, you can drive me, all right? All right, we're going to take the news and come forward. News time.
Garrett.
An artificial intelligence AI-enhanced breast health tool is set to be introduced to Jamaica as the Ministry of Health and Wellness prioritizes breast cancer prevention and early detection efforts. The proposal for the new technology to support cancer screening featured among the discussions on Monday when Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton toured the University Hospital of the West Indies UWHI with Medical Chief of Staff Dr. Carl Bruce and members of the facility's clinical leadership. The portable handheld tool marks an important stage in furthering access to pre-screening across the country. He said more must be done in terms of the outreach, noting that the UWHI has a lot of technology as it relates to breast cancer, but it must be made more wide-scale across the country. Designed for use in community settings, the radiation-free technology enables quick, non-invasive breast assessments, providing real-time decision support and helping healthcare workers detect those who need additional diagnostic evaluation. Opposition leader Mark Golding has announced the appointment of retired Senior Superintendent of Police Steve McGregor as Deputy Spokesperson on Citizen Security. Mr. McGregor, who served the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF for over 4 decades, is recognized for his community-focused leadership in some of the island's most challenging divisions. In making the announcement, Mr. Golding stated that Mr. McGregor is a highly respected voice in national security and that his practical understanding of both policing and community dynamics will add great value to the PNP's commitment to creating safer communities. Meantime, opposition spokesperson on national security Peter Bunting welcomed Steve McGregor's input as someone with comprehensive knowledge of policing and a proven practitioner of the policing approach advocated by the party. In news overseas, the new Pope is Robert Prevost, who will be known as Pope Leo XIV. He is the first American pontiff to be elected leader of the Catholic Church. Prevost, 69, was greeted with huge cheers from thousands gathered in St. Peter's Square. Finally, the U.S. has announced that it is cutting $50 million in aid to Zambia's health sector due to the country's failure to address the systematic theft of donated drugs and medical supplies. U.S. Ambassador to Zambia, Michael Gonzalez, said this difficult decision was taken after repeated warnings to the Zambian government to safeguard vital drugs meant for the country's most vulnerable patients. He said the U.S. was no longer willing to underwrite the personal enrichment of fraudsters or the corrupt when patients go without or have to buy life-saving medications that were provided for free. The Zambian government is yet to comment. Those were the local and international.
80-year-old still a sing. Yellow Perny Smith, anybody hear him or know him, can tell him some Mutabaruka, yell him up. Used to do. 30, 40, 50 years ago. Yeah. A long time the money I sing.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Good afternoon to all the listeners via irfm.net and all those who are listening via the IRFM app available in the Google Play Store. We're coming to you live from Newell High School in St. Elizabeth, the Breadbasket Parish. And of course, it's all about Radar Connect mobile app. Of course, bringing agriculture support closer to you, our farmers. And now we are here having a discussion now. We're going to talk to Sheldon Smith, and he's a regional manager, the National Solid Waste Management Authority, in particular for the region SPM. All right. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Glad to be here. Glad to be a part of this exciting thing here today.
All right. Talk to us about the partnership and collaboration with RADA in terms of this app. How do you feel about it?
Well, being a farmer myself, I think it's excellent. The strength of this app, I am thinking, has to do with the extension officers. It's a few extension officers meeting, having to reach a lot of farmers, right? And I think it's an excellent thing. They can reach more persons now because, as you know, the way to go now is electronic,
yes,
right? And using this app, these extension officers can reach way, way, way more farmers. And they are able to respond. They can take pictures of problems they're having with their plants, and they can get quick response. Because usually the extension officers would have to drive all the way to their farms, look at it, inspect it, and then give them a diagnosis and the solution. Now, just by the use of the app, it has made things so much easier.
All right. A lot of persons always have issues in disposing of their solid waste. And I know the farmers themselves use the chemicals, the pesticide, the herbicide, the weed, whatever, all those chemicals, and to dispose of them sometimes they face challenge to dispose of them. Some persons resort to burning, and having pits, some persons bury them. I saw you have composting here, which is a good complement for replacement for fertilizer. Talk to us about the composting initiative from SPM.
Okay, beautiful. We are here today with our team, Parks and Gardens. They are the ones who are responsible for pushing the initiative of composting. But first, just to give you a little background, just about 60% of what we collect each day at persons' homes is compostable, can be used for waste, can be, and can also be reused. So if you say extrapolate on that idea in taking 60% of that waste out, how much more homes we could reach in a shorter while.
Wow.
How much more collection we could do. So that is why our Parks and Gardens division is pushing this initiative of composting. So we can take out all of the peeling skins, the yam skin, the tomato skin, all those things out of the waste. And there's a way to do it. Mix it with your wood chip and so on. And for about 3 months, I understand, it breaks down and you will have fertilizer to assist your plants in growth.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sheldon Smith, Regional Manager of SPM Waste Management Limited, a subsidiary of the National Solid Waste Management Authority. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me. Blessings.
Right. So we're going to talk now to Miss Audrey Ellington. And Miss Ellington is a farmer, and not only a farmer, she is the principal of Newell High School. All right. I know you're a farmer a long time. You know you're a farmer a long time because you're a 4-H lady.
Of course.
Not true.
Of course,
and you're one of the principals. Always ensure that you have a good farm to complement your 4-H stuff.
Of course.
All right.
Good school garden.
Let us talk about the app. Did you download the app already?
Yes, I did earlier today.
Yes.
And I realized how usable it is. It is user-friendly.
Yes.
And one in which we can get real-time advice from RADA. It is one in which whatever problem we're having, we can just post it and we will get response. And what I like about it also is that if we are having a problem and we're not able to diagnose at the time, we can make a request of RADA for them to do a farm visit. And I think that is very exciting. I'm excited about that. Very, very excited.
I'm very happy that you mentioned that when minister step over to be a part of the Yes, so it's a game changer for RADA and for us as farmers. Yes.
It is.
So you endorse it.
Everybody is knowing
technology. Right.
So it is something that user-friendly for the young, for the old, whoever it may can come along and do it. I heard you speak about composting.
Yes.
And I must say at Newell here,
yes,
we're big on composting.
Excellent.
So our students, especially in 4-H, has always been entering composting competition. This year we were tipped.
Yes.
Didn't come first, but we support it wholeheartedly. We have a farm, a school garden farm. We have an active canteen. And so, peelings, cuttings from the grass. And so we use it up. And so we are big into manure.
And you'd have heard that minister make a big announcement that more support coming for school garden.
Every time.
Yes.
Every time. He is one of the ministers that I must say that have always supported school gardening.
Yes.
Whether it be livestock or crops. So I know that what he says is true. And I'm looking forward to getting our assistance again. Yes.
All right. Big up, Madam Principal. Any closing remarks?
Just want to say to everyone that we're happy that we could have hosted this function here today, RADA Connect. We are the first one.
Yes.
And as always, Newell is always willing and ready to
You've gone long in history,
every time, not only this time. And just want to say that we will be getting one of the composting boxes.
Wow.
Right here at school. So look out for us next year. I'm sure St. Anne won't even...
No, me a come phone.
No, St. Elizabeth, St. Bess. Minister, you hear that? Cannot be at all. Newell High School.
All right.
Continue to conquer. But thank you very much for having me.
Pleasure talking to you, Audrey Ellington, the principal of Newell High School and also a farmer that utilized the app. All right, so Muta, it's your turn. Minister is here patiently.
2 minutes I give me for talk to the man, Rasta.
No, man, I got time now.
No, but 2 minutes I give me for talk to the man because they had them just... All right, anyway, you want to know. Mr. Minister.
Yes, Muta.
All right. When we are driving all over the place, we see enough land where it's not used. And them call it government land.
Yeah.
You have some youth when me know say, boy, him born at Kingston, him not have no land or country, but him want to plant some food. What is the government doing to facilitate the enthusiasm of this youth who want to plant food but don't have no land and see so much land about the place now use?
Yeah, so part of what we're doing, Muta, is to ensure that those lands will be usable. Because it's one thing to have the land, but a lot of the people say they need water, they need irrigated water, so that they don't have to depend on rainfall to ensure that whatever they invest will make sense. So we're repurposing, especially some of our old sugar lands. So parts of Amity Hall, if you're coming out of Kingston and you look at the highway, you will now see a big reservoir with water. That is a new agro park that we're going to put out there. So for the young people, one of the things, the policies that I have brought forward is that 25% of all of that land is earmarked for youth, right? So I would say to that person, contact the Agro Invest Corporation, right? You can go in Google, type in Agro Invest, and there we actually have land on offer right now under the Southern Plains
When you say land on offer, when you say land on offer, what you mean? You just come in there. Yeah.
Come in there. Now, clearly, you have to have a business plan because we don't want to put you on the land and then you can't really use it or you don't have a plan for it, right? Yeah. So you have to come, you have to have a business plan. If you don't have one, Agro Invest will work with you as a youth to help you develop a business plan because you have to work out how much it's going to take because farming is money. Farming is not. Farming is a business, right? Clearly, there is a lease that you have to pay, but for the youth, we have reduced rates and we have other things that we can do. In fact, in the Southern Plains project now, we have a matching grant and we match up to $1.2 million. So if a youth come, him have a good business plan, make we say, him have a little money to start with, let us say 200,000, and we can match him and say, all right, we're going to put 200,000 to, right? So you can start, and you can decide how much acres you want to lease from the Agro Invest Corporation, and we'll give you a lease agreement. But again, you have to have a business plan. You have to show that you're serious, and we will work with you through that.
When you say leasing plan now, you talk about the youth, them have to have some money to pay a year per year for the lease.
Yes, so normally you have to enter in the lease arrangement because, again, you need to have some tenureship. You need to make sure that the thing is firm. But what we do is, as I said, for youth, for women, for persons with disability, we have preferential rates. So you, Muta, who might have the big money, you can pay the full lease amount, but for a youth who might say, all right, you're going to pay half, or we can say, all right, let us pay a quarter and delay the payment of the rest till you start make some money. So we're flexible when it comes to
you know, so I'm not answer you. Because if I answer you, no, but if I'm if I answer you, you're going to hear something that disrespect the minister. Come here, have something in my mouth. No, watch out. I have things in my mouth, you know. I always have things in my mouth, you know. But if you don't answer, no, you're going to say, boy, you mean some muta really disrespect the minister.
That's true.
So I'm going to answer you about that. So, yeah, say, no, a man like me who have enough money, yeah, can come into you and get the lease proper.
Yeah, so we have lands on offer now in Clarendon, in parts of St. Catherine. So Parnassus in Clarendon, that's southern Clarendon. So Prime Minister was there a few weeks ago where we unveiled irrigation. So we have about 700 acres of land, right, down there. Already some people have gone in. We have a lot of different type of people. We have some young people down there already. We have some returning residents down there. We have a man doing almost 100 acres of orchard.
Which part you talk about?
South Clarendon, that's an area called Parnassus. Yeah. So when you're heading down to, you might know where Parnassus is. Yeah. So South Clarendon. So you have a man doing 100 acres focusing on ackee, breadfruit, mango, and there's one more, I forget it. So so there are opportunities out there for the young people. Also 4-H club, right? The 4-H club.
Yeah,
a lot of youth motor think, but they think it's a school thing. Yeah. Some of them don't appreciate that 4-H is a youth program. So even if you're out of school, once you're under 35, you can go to the 4-H. We have training. We have grants that we give you. In fact, last year, we did a business pitch competition where we take some young people who are in training and they were able to pitch for $1 million. And 2 young ladies won, and they got $1 million each to put towards the business. So there are opportunities in agriculture through 4-H.
All right, let me ask you the last question,
Yeah.
Is it possible? All right, when my youth out of which part you have the flour mill, You used to see prisoner out there broke rock sword. I don't know if you did ban them time there.
No.
You never ban them time there. All right, them used to have prisoner broke rock sword out there. So much land about the place. So much prisoners sit down in the night do nothing. Is there a way where the government, or is there any plans for the government to use the prisoner them to plant food so that they can sustain themselves in a prison?
You know, I said it to Juliet Cuthbert, who is in charge of the prison system in terms of a state minister. We're going to have to show you guys what's happening in the prisons. We have at least 2 or 3 prisons that are fully self-sufficient. They do chicken, they do all the vegetable lines, they do significant agriculture, especially out in Richmond, in St. Mary. And I think is Horizon is the other one, but we have about 3 prisons that are doing very good farms. The prisons are
for the prison.
For the prison, firstly. So they're self-sufficient in chicken, self-sufficient in eggs. The next step, once you reach self-sufficiency and you continue to expand, then the next step is to supply to the market, right? But the first step, firstly, is to deal with the prison so that comes as a big cost saving to all of us, because all of us are taxpayers. So we're dealing with the self-sufficiency first and then work with them to try and put it out on a bigger scale. So that is the vision. The vision is to have, especially in Richmond, have a big vision out there for them to really farm a lot of land.
Mr. B, where name again? Where name again?
Flight Green.
Oh, are you there, Flight Green? Are you there, Flight Green? No. It's like a whole different to the whole conversation. Mr. Green.
I want to make a good difference in the motor.
No, it can't make no good difference. Mr. Green, let me ask you something now.
Yeah.
You talk about the prisoner them in a prison where I farm and I make sustainability. Now, I'm going to one prison already and see the farm where them having there. But it wasn't something where me can tell you, say, 1,000 man there, it can sustain the prison. So it's more somewhere else them plant the food. It couldn't be in the prison.
So to be honest, some prisons don't have the capacity. But the
that means which part them plant the food? Where them plant the food?
No, so we have some prisons that have no poultry houses and poultry houses. Some prisons that focus on egg production.
Where?
A part of the prison compound. So those are the prisons that have lands, right? So again, as you know, Richmond, the Richmond Farm Prison, which is in St. Mary.
So it's not all of the prisons. No, you say all of the prisons.
Not all of the prisons.
Then why you say that before? Why you say that?
No.
But you just say all of the prisons them have sustaining.
I said 2 or 3.
How much prison them have?
Programs, agricultural programs right there.
How much prison them have? How much prison them have? Yeah.
I'm not sure, but remember now. So this would go across ministries, right? So clearly from an agriculture perspective, we try to work with the Department of Correctional Services so that more of the prisons can be
why you tell me all of that,
provided with technical support.
No, wait, you go around with me. I say,
yeah, but I have to tell you.
A while ago, you say all of the prisons them have
2 or 3. No, most.
All right, 2 or 3. So how much prison them have? So how much prison them have?
I am not sure.
You're not sure?
All right, so let me tell you why I'm not sure. No. Remember, no. So I know that you have Fort Augusta, I know you have Horizon, I know you have Richmond Park, I know you have some juvenile centers.
Spanish Town Prison. Spanish Town.
It's not my portfolio.
Spanish Town Prison.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me Spanish Town Prison.
What I can tell you about.
It's sustainable. You tell me say.
No, I can't. No, I don't know. No, I can't talk. No, I said as far as I know, Richmond Park, all right, that's Richmond Farm, sorry, that's in St. Mary, and Horizon have some programs.
But Spanish Town Prison have
2 or 3 of them have reached system.
Spanish Town Prison, me go to Spanish Town Prison already. Not as a prisoner, but as a visitor. And me assure you say, when you talk about sustaining prisoner, sustain them one, them are sustain themselves. No go so.
So say I get in some information. But Muta, listen now. I want you to listen to what I'm saying carefully. I am not talking about all prisons.
No, me know, but you have the 2 main prisons with the most people.
So I'm telling
you. The 2 main people with the most people is Spanish Town Prison and GP.
So I'm telling you, let me tell you the ones. Horizon, Richmond Farm, and Cambrian Farm.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that have Yeah, and Tambourine Farm.
Them are
Those are the
sustain
ones that have
themselves.
significant agricultural programs.
And them are sustain
Significant
themselves.
agricultural programs.
And them are
in a
sustain
number of
themselves.
areas. In a number of areas, like
No, them are sustain themselves.
in
Them are
things like
sustain
poultry,
themselves.
in things like poultry, in things like eggs, in some of the vegetable lines, they are sustaining themselves. Now, is there more to be done? Of course, right? We are on a program with the Department of Correctional Services to provide technical support to see what more we can get done, right? But I won't tell you that every prison is self-sustaining.
What more you can get done is when I ask is what more you can get done. Put the prisoner them on some land we want to have out there where at least the rich people will come down here and make them farm for the country and them can help themselves with it. That is what me I suggest. How that sound?
So it's not a bad suggestion. It's not a bad suggestion. Clearly, you have to ensure that it is you have to put in a system where you can monitor, right? Because
no, we know all of that, man. Why you say
anywhere.
That? But them used to broke rock stone
over. I disagree with you.
No, but you say, but know what you have to do.
It was a different time, you know, and different type of time and different type of people.
Use different
so, but we don't disagree. Different methodology, agree. Yeah. So we don't disagree. It is something that I think we can take on board.
So you think you can go bring it up in Parliament? You think you can bring it up in Parliament?
I'm going to in Parliament.
I'm going to listen to you now.
Right? So more listen to the speech. Yeah, more tell the people them, so we talk about it. I'm going to bring it up.
No, but if you talk about it, if you talk about it, I'm going to say it on the radio, so you talk about it, you know.
Yeah,
about the prisoner and the farming, and that me talk about.
Yeah, Mr. Cockburn, please. Yeah.
All right, look, me gone over whole heap of time now. Them going to tell me, say, me gone over whole heap of time.
All right, cool.
All right, sir. Mr. Green.
Muta.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, bless up. Long time, you need to come Treasure Beach.
Mr. Green. No, wait, no, Mr. Green.
Yeah.
I hope you start go church. I hope you start go church, you know.
We go church regular, man. Regular. But I say you need to come Treasure Beach. Remember, you are a man that frequent down this side, and we love it down this side. So.
All right, so I come down there for Calabash.
Calabash. All right, so we'll link up. See you there?
All right, sir. Give thanks.
All right, Muta. Blessings.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Muta. So we have come to the end. Muta.
Yeah, man. Me hear you, man.
We can close off now.
Yeah, man. Close off, man.
I just want to close off to say that. Just want to close off to say that Rear Kobe Juvenile Correctional Facility have a beautiful garden and both crops and livestock. So we can pay a visit to that one. Rear Kobe Juvenile Correctional Facility. Thank the Honorable Minister Floyd Green for sharing all the lights on all those questions. To the end of Connect, bringing agriculture support closer to you, our farmers. Just want to pick up the team on location. Gregory White, big up yourself, bigger. Big up yourself, bigger. Of course, DJ Pancho, big up yourself. And of course, for the final time, MC Vibe Energy, pitching things back to Mutabaruka. Take it away.
Advertisement time, you know. Got a long time, but we could go and clip in the advertisement.
Surprise mom.
Meanwhile, we continue playing this song, it never lost play. Hello? No, I hear nothing. Sadabdo? Good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you, sir? Are you hearing me now?
I hear you now, yes, loud. I hear you clear, but not loud, but I hear you.
When I'm not shouting.
Yes, sir. So, this thing, you have to deal with it because this part of the whole people, them who, the problem.
I'm on here at the moment. Are we on here?
Yeah, man, you're up on here, man.
Okay, good.
You're up on here, man. All right. Gaza, we see them intensify the killing and also the movement of the people them in the Gaza Strip there, where them decide say them want to take over the whole thing, displace the people them, and maybe make Trump come in and come make it into a resort. That is film intention. And Netanyahu facilitate this madness. So tell me, what is happening? Because you said there's a big demonstration going to take place. Tell me what is happening worldwide.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't think the role, I mean, there is some PR, but people are saying things. I don't think the intention of Netanyahu is to prepare it for Trump. The intention is the Zionist intention, which has been clear from the 1980s and before, 1918 and before, that they want a greater Israel, which is all of these lands, which include Gaza, all of Palestine, parts of Lebanon, Syria, parts of Saudi Arabia, believe it or not, and all of Jordan. So this is just a phase. They're not going in there. If Trump is going to invest with them, that's another story. That part, I don't know. You know, when Trump speaks, you know, he's coming in on the end part, if you don't understand what I mean. This is a plan that's been going on for centuries.
Yeah.
And they're looking to take over the land, and the attack of Hamas is the excuse that they're using. It was to defend themselves. That was the excuse, but it really was to, you know, try and take over all the land, which they're doing now, and they're doing it in a genocidal manner.
I tell you. Yeah.
Now, I received today a notification that it was a priest in some movement that they're calling on the world to have a day of protest tomorrow. And what they're asking for is that we close our businesses. I have decided I will close mine to support that, because I may lose a little money, I'll still pay my workers, but I'm not, you know, I've lost my life like the people there are doing. And if we stay and we don't care, you know, that's what's happening in the world. Not enough people know what's happening, and most of us, we're being programmed by main media to just look after ourselves and keep our mouth shut and follow instructions. Well, that's not how people like Mandela, Muhammad Ali, who changed the world, Gandhi, people who changed the world, even though they lost, they sacrificed and lost, those people changed the world for the better. People like Hitler changed the world for the worse, and Netanyahu the same. So if we remain silent, we're complicit. And don't forget, this is also happening to a lesser degree in the Sudan, where people are being killed left, right, and center by a rebel unit that's funded by the UAE. And I was very disappointed that earlier this week, the
UAE is United Arab
Emirates.
Yeah.
Yes, which plays a very sneaky role all over the world in funding rebels and all that to overturn governments. And I think in collusion with both Israel and the US. It's pretty plain now, and similarly with Saudi Arabia. So what's happening there is that the ICJ didn't say there was no evidence of it, and I'm tired of the double standards and hypocrisy. But they said they didn't have the jurisdiction, apparently based on how the case was filed. So people can just continue dying. So they made no ruling on the UAE. I think that's absolutely disgusting and disgraceful. Yet, the ICC and the ICJ can act so fast and so efficiently that they can send an order for Duarte, and within a couple of days, he's brought over on a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just mind-boggling. So the hypocrisy is thick. Now, they have already killed officially 60,000 Palestinians, mostly children. They have injured.
Them amplify it now. Every day more are dead.
Well, they're sending in the troops now to take over.
Yeah.
And they're not telling you this, but when they're killing the people like that, what I think they're doing is hoping that Egypt will eventually open the border. And by the way, about Egypt, Saudi Arabia and Jordan, I've been collaborating with them. I think through fear, because, you know, if you collaborate with them and with the West, and you give them your oil, you give them your this at the right prices, you stay in power. If not, you end up like being called a Hitler and a terrorist, etc. And you end up like Saddam and Gaddafi. So I'm looking to see what's going to happen to Traore, and what happens to him and in Africa depends on how much the people's minds have woken up as to what kind of game is being played. You know, in the 70s, I think the world went through a period where we thought there was great peace and prosperity coming for everyone. But we were in a dream world, because once things were running a certain way, everybody was happy. But to control the world, which is what's going on now, with the Ukraine war, this, etc., all these wars all over the place, and they all seem to, it's just ironic, these wars come up, and these things, what you call, when you ban people and you put bans on them and restrict them, all these things come up. Coincidentally, all these countries have oil. So it's no more than they want to get control of the people's oil, and then they raise the price. So in the future, we may be paying $20 a gallon of gas to US. I wouldn't be surprised. I remember telling a friend of mine.
Something. With your information that you have, you hear anything? What I don't hear nothing to say. Hamas is saying anything in terms of still having the hostage them, how much of them dead, and them going
first
turn
of all,
over.
the information I have no more than what I can discern and from reading between the lines and going on social media. Second of all, the information we get is only by mainstream media, which is not, as a former journalist, I can tell you, that is not news, that's propaganda. And what you are being told is selected, and you'll notice every one of them repeat the same words over and over and over and over again. To defend what is happening, they tell you, oh, Israel has to defend it, has a right to defend itself. You know, Hamas started this. But have you ever heard that the Palestinians have a right to defend themselves? Never.
I don't know if you have listened to Democracy now.
Yes, but I don't think many people have heard it yet.
I listen to them. I listen to and it would appear to me that Donald Trump's regime has intensified with Netanyahu the war against the Palestinians. Them, or you see that?
No, you know, to be honest, I don't think so. I think that it was. I think that the previous government was doing the same thing, and that's why they lost. But they were doing it, talking about they're against it, and it is terrible and it shouldn't be happening. But they were doing nothing to stop it. So they were just as complicit. The thing is that Donald Trump, I'm not defending him. No way. He's also now complicit in the genocide. But he's more open with what he does and says. Because he doesn't, the others act as if they have a moral compass. So they don't want to call, publicly they don't want to cross that line. But they really do have a moral compass. They don't. He has no moral compass, so it's not hard for him to cross the line. And like he likes to say, he's a real estate man, you know. Yeah. So I'm sure Netanyahu may have told him when we get it, you know, there's a lot of great investment can go on. I don't know. I don't think even that's relevant. The relevant is that they're committing genocide. I saw this video, they're asking for people to protest tomorrow. I'm closing my business.
Who's calling for the protest? Which group is calling for the protest?
It's a religious group, apparently. I saw it on the internet. And I can send you it, you know, and if you want to play it for your viewers. But they're saying because all these soldiers are going now into Rafah intensify the genocide.
Yeah.
If we don't protest, if the world doesn't protest, then it's going to continue and to get worse. Now, a lot of people may feel even if we protest, it's not going to stop. But if you protest, you're not complicit. If you stay silent, knowing what is happening and you stay silent, you're complicit.
Yeah.
I can't live with that. I mean, why do we admire Mandela? The man gave 30 odd years of his life. Why do I admire Ali? They made their sacrifices. Yeah, but in a sense, when you do nothing, you betray all they stood for. And you're a bit of either a pathetic human being or a weak human being. Take a choice. You know, I don't know. You can make more money keeping your mouth shut, I guess. But, you know, good luck taking it to your grave. You know,
by the way, you know, I never introduce you and you never introduce yourself.
Okay.
Tell me who
I'm
we're
not that
talking to again.
important.
Which one of the Dabdu that I'm talking to?
Robert Dabdu.
Okay.
Which one of what?
Right.
Robert Dabdu.
No, I was asking which one of the Dabdu that I'm talking to.
Yes. Well, I guess I'm the one who talks about these issues, but you know.
So when you talk about these things amongst your friend them and thing, what them say?
You know something? I talk to a lot of Jews about it also, not only in Jamaica, but overseas.
Yeah.
And I swear, I have never had any hostility. I'm not saying that they're not. No. Yeah, and I'm glad you bring up that point. You must differentiate between Zionism, which is what I would call a cult of Judaism.
Yes.
These are the extremists who believe that Israel is not what the UN Charter gave them. Israel is all those countries I told you before. And they've been making war and war and war and war from before they were declared to get the rest of those countries. Right? And it will continue. No, it's over 100 years just to get Palestine, and they haven't finished yet. So add those other 5 countries, these people will take us into another 1,000 years of this mad war. And here's a man, you see how many wars he started and how many people he has killed in Lebanon, Syria, etc. And everybody's a terrorist except him. Are we mad? I mean, really. So, like I said, no Jew I have talked to has said to me, you're talking rubbish. There may be some things that tweak on that different, like they'll say, well, why they didn't let go the hostages and all that. And coming to talk about that, Israel has actually killed more hostages. Hamas, what they did was wrong in my opinion, and I said it at the time. But Hamas, after they took the hostages over, which they were using as a bargaining chip to get the Palestinians who they had arrested, so-called arrested, but they considered them hostages, to be released. But this was just what Netanyahu was waiting for. And the reason is, the other day, America worked an agreement for them to release the last hostages. Netanyahu didn't want that because if he agreed to it, then he couldn't say that he's going in for hostages.
Yeah.
Now, the irony is that they have killed more hostages than they have actually saved. If you count the ones that went in and physically took out and saved, I think it's only about 7. Right? The rest of them were let out by negotiation. No, negotiation between the people negotiating for Hamas and people negotiating for Israel and through the US. So negotiation is obviously the better way to save the people's lives. But then the man won't have the excuse, he'll have the pressure. And as you know, they say that the day he resigned, he has a lot of corruption charges against him.
Yeah,
he'll have to go back to court to defend them. So here's it. We have a felon who is, in my view, an absolute madman. He has a nuclear button he can press, and the whole world is supporting him. EU, the world leaders, not the world people, every country, the votes and the polls are against him and against what Israel is doing. So we are in a mad state of affairs. And when you add Sudan, when you add Congo, it's unbelievable what is happening here.
Yeah,
and then the role of like Rwanda being funded and
Yemen.
Well, Israel, I mean, Yemen, you know, when Yemen stopped the boats in protest to the genocide, right? Which under the international law, they have the right to do. They never killed one person. Nobody has ever mentioned that. They never killed one person. They only stopped the boats. Yet they can go and wantonly bomb and kill so many thousands of people, man. It's very mad world. Now, if you are happy living in that without talking, then that's fine. But at least I have to let them know I don't have the power to change it alone. Because I have to let them know they're not fooling me. And that's it.
All right, you think that all right,
tomorrow, if any Jamaican wants to close his business, you might lose a little money, but take a stand. If you don't take a stand, it won't spread. Remember, you have Gaza, you have Sudan, you have the Congo. And if you don't know about these things, read them up. And they're all for the same thing. People want their resources. And they don't care how many people they kill.
Land, they want them land.
Yeah, and the resources. Yeah.
I can ask you, in your time, in your estimation, you think there will be a two-state solution?
Honestly, if the people of the world don't stand up, there won't be a two-state solution. But if people think that when this is finished, it's finished, no. I mean, you can also hear where people flaunting the breaking of international laws, looking at another country and saying, well, we're going to take that country. So you see, your rights are eaten away slowly but surely. And what you're going to is, if you're not careful, you end up with fascism. And under fascism, people control the media and the military and the police force control. And, you know, there's no justice because if they kill people, you hear a story and it doesn't go the right way, you know.
Okay.
I think we're on board
well.
with that. This is what
well, thank you. Thank you for really sharing where you want to share.
Well, as I say, I would encourage, I know it's late. The people, I decide today, apparently the man sent it out today. Everything big starts small, it starts somewhere. I'm willing to sacrifice that one day. And to my customers, we have left numbers. If they have an emergency, they can call us. It's on our gate. And I hope other people will join in. And if you don't want to take the stand verbally, you can just say you're sick and stay home.
All right.
So that's
okay,
it.
give thanks.
Thank you, sir. Good.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Good.
Yes, this is depressing when you listen to the news. I hear how much youth, how much they could picnic. And not only hear, but you see the picture of them, where they might took out the youth them from under the rubble them, where it was bombed. And then when them go to the hospital, you see them without foot and it was terrible, terrible. And that is what man do to man, and feel to them right, you know, want control a person land and then decide to move them and fight. Yes. Want to tell you say the time is 6 minutes past 4 o'clock. Yes. I'm there with you, and this is
Employers, there's still time to get
birthday celebration. The number is 974-5061. Sorry, 5051. 974-5079. 974-5043. And 618-0352. What is the question? What anniversary is Idoni celebrating in 2025? What is Adonai celebrating in 2025? Answer it, and you get ticket to go to the Adonai show.
and of course a featured act on Davido's R&B song, which also features Shensia, debuted at number 13 last week, but it backtracked to number 17 this week. R&B is featured on Davido's fifth studio album 5, which was released on April 18 via Columbia Records and Sony Music Entertainment. The song Awoke features YG Marley and also features on the album 5. 5 opened at number 1 in Nigeria, number 38, that's 83 rather, in Switzerland, and of course number 7 on the UK albums chart, and number 2 on both the UK and R&B albums and US World Albums chart. It is understood that the collaboration with 450 came about after Davido's team reached out to 450's management team. Both artists met for the first time at the listening party for the album, which was held in early April at the Saint Resto Lounge in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. R&B also debuted at number 28 in the country of Nigeria on the Turntable Hot 100 as well. So of course, big up to 450 landing his first entry on the Billboard US Afrobeat Songs chart. In all the news, dancehall community is in shock after news surfaced of the tragic death of Britannia Francis, more popularly known as Chicken. In the year 2022, the international dancehall queen was honored. And of course, according to reports at about 1:30 a.m. this morning, the 26-year-old was at the bar in Richmond District, Manchester, along with the establishment's operators when they were pounced upon by a assailant, a gunman, of course, and there was a loud explosions being heard. We understand that Francis was later found suffering from gunshot wounds. Francis was rushed to the hospital where she died while undergoing treatment. The news of her death sparked an outpouring of condolences from fellow dancers and industry insiders. Selector Boom Boom shared a heartfelt message expressing his sadness and sending condolences to Chicken's family, saying, "Sending my condolences to the family of dancehall queen Chicken. We are mourning," he wrote. Dancers Latanya Styles, Kiva the Diva, Kim Weezy, and Shiny also took to social media to express their shock and offered messages of condolences to Chicken's friends and family. Chicken's rise to fame was marked by her victory at the International Dancehall Queen competition in 2022, where she won $500,000 cash prize, a trophy, and a cell phone. So once again, we express condolences to the family and friends of dancehall queen Chicken. In all the news, dancehall artist Pampute, in the spirit of generosity, has donated a 1,000-gallon capacity water tank to the St. Catherine Bay's Tratmore Gardens Children's Home through her Single Mothers Foundation. In a video being circulated on social media, the single mother DJ expressed satisfaction at being able to deliver on a promise made while sharing footage of her sourcing and delivering the water tank. The gesture is a part of Pampute's ongoing efforts to support groups such as single mothers and children in need. The female DJ is also hosting a social media giveaway to celebrate single mothers just ahead of Mother's Day on Sunday, May 11. The competition is being held in conjunction with a corporate entity. Officially launched in May 2019, Pampute's Single Mothers Foundation is a charitable initiative that supports children and single mothers in need through community events, care packages, and school supplies. Hey, party fans, draw closer. Training rate is up for the 411 and what's popping for this weekend. Jamaica Auto Show, May 10 to 11, 2025 at the National Arena and National Indoor Sports Complex promises to bring together car enthusiasts and, of course, industry professionals and families. A dynamic weekend with interactive vehicle exhibits and, of course, entertainment from electric vehicles and luxury bands and aftermarket upgrades and vintage classics. The Jamaica Auto Show celebrates the future and the, of course, heritage of motoring in Jamaica. Also happening, Lecadco, a United Caribbean Dance Force 42nd season of dance, Modupe, Spirit, Mind, and Body, under the distinguished patronage of award-winning actress Kerry Washington. General performance May 9 to 10, showtime 8 p.m. May 11, 2025. And of course, that's going to be showtime at 5 p.m. And also, admission is $5,000. It's going to be happening at the Philip Sherlock Center for the Creative Arts, UWI Mona. Make it a date and don't be late. Also happening, Idonia's 20th anniversary, Saturday, May 10. Gates open at 9 p.m. Sabina Park, Kingston. Performance by Ding Dong, Bounty Killer, Capleton, Skang, Valiant, The Genius, Roger Wild and Craft. Music by Shocker Boss, Fireman, Boom Boom, World Fresh. Admission pre-sold $5,000, $6,000 at the gate. VIP $8,000, $10,000 at the gate. That's Idonia's 20th anniversary. Then it's all about Bonafide Fest Mother's Day concert, Sunday, May 11 at Catherine Hall Stadium in Montego Bay. Live performance by Tess and Chin, Christopher Martin, Kevin Downswell, Nation 9, Mackie Conscious, Atlantic Star, The Jets, Bonafide Band. Hosted by Ron Mushet, DJ Bones, and Brian Bowen. And don't you forget admission. You can get your tickets at www.ticketwave.net. Also happening, of course, United Lifeline performance at Super Bowl. UMG says Drake's lawsuit isn't really about K-Dog calling him a certified pedophile because he didn't even include those words during the performance. Now, the reality is that the crowd did the damage itself chanting the lyrics, but that's not on Kendrick. The label is also throwing Drake's own words back at him, reminding him about 3 years ago he signed a public petition criticizing prosecutors for using rap lyrics as evidence in criminal cases against artists. UMG says Drake was right then and is wrong now because his lawsuit is merely an attempt to save face for his unsuccessful rap battle with Kendrick Lamar. Celebs celebrating their birthdays for today.
Rodana asked me about certain name. They might pronounce the name, but they don't remember how it's spelled. You know, they might try to remember if it's a female name or a male name. So if you hear me repeat the thing, it's for those of those who keep stopping me on the road and I ask me about where the name, how the name spell, if it's a male or a female name. So here we go with these now. This is female. Aziza. Aziza. A-Z-I-Z-A. Aziza. Aziza means precious. Precious. Chipo. Chipo. C-H-I-P-O. Chipo means a gift. A gift. Ifetayo. Ifetayo. I-F-E-T-A-Y-O. Ifetayo means love brings happiness. And Imani. Imani. I-M-A-N-I. Imani means faith. Faith. So that's Aziza, A-Z-I-Z-A, means precious. Chipo, C-H-I-P-O, means a gift. Afetayo, I-F-E-T-A-Y-O, means love brings happiness. And Imani, I-M-A-N-I, Imani means faith. Okay, male name. Eli, E-L-E, Eli, means a king is born. A king is born. Farah, F-A-R-A, Farah. Farah means joy. Jawara, J-A-W-A-R-A, Jawara means peace loving. Peace loving. And Jumoke, J-U-M-O-K-E means everyone love him. Everyone love him. So that's Eli, E-L-E, a king is born. Farah, F-A-R-A, means joy. Jawara, J-A-W-A-R-A, means peace loving. And Jomoke, J-U-M-O-K-E, Jomoke, means everyone loves him. African America, yeah. You know why America seem to be in a problem about the tariff thing, even though it is Donald Trump instigated? It's because them don't produce nothing. Most of what them buy come from foreign land, especially China. China have so much thing that them produce that them can just listen go in America. Now we hear Trump say him want the thing them make in America. The problem with that making it in America is that the cost of doing it in China is much, 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 much cheaper than doing it in America. So only American company do them things them in China and send it go America. Because things cheap over China, especially labor. Labor cheap. America can't stand up with China as a command to labor force. First of all, them have a billion people. America about 350, 360 million. And the work where these people are doing at China, a whole heap of people in America now go do that work. So the company them in America find it very profitable to send them things go to China, go make and bring it back come in America. Now, Donald Trump want to stop that and say they must make it in America. But any which way it go, it's going to be expensive if it start making America, because the labor force in America is much, much more expensive than the labor force in China. So the saga continue. The saga continue. I hear him say I'm going to make a big announcement between today and Monday. I brother is a show about it, that's that. Because we're going to make a big announcement between today and Monday. And them have everybody upon the edge of them seat. Take it easy. Everybody upon the edge of them seat, I wonder, where am I talking about now? Where am I going to do? But it's a great problem in America. A great problem in America. People them a ball. People them a ball. And it not hit them yet. It not hit them yet. But the people them a ball. And them ratings gone way, way down. And we'll be back here on Wednesday with the cutting edge